What is up, guys? In today's video, I'm taking up Joe Rogan's Sober October challenge, where you stay completely sober for the full month of October.
Sober October, it's on, kids. Woo!
That means no alcohol, no drugs. But I decided to make it extra hard for myself. And the results were, well, unexpected. But before I get into the results and how I exactly made it harder for myself, let me explain the rules and why Joe Rogan started the whole Sober October thing. As you probably know, Joe Rogan likes to sip whiskey and light up a joint occasionally, sometimes with his guests, and sometimes he likes to smoke strange three-letter words that bring you in contact with machine elves and tell you all the answers of the universe. One of his regular guests and friends is Bert Kreischer, who, as I've understood, likes to drink a lot.
The initial thing wasn't quitting weed, right? The initial thing was just getting Bert Kreischer to not die.
In fact, Joe Rogan and his friends challenged him to quit drinking for a full month, and to support him, they decided to join him as well. But because drinking wasn't too much of a challenge for Joe Rogan, to be fair, they added quitting pot as well.
So the weed wasn't in the original bet. The original bet was just no booze,
Yeah.
which I thought would be pretty easy. And then they're like, all right, we're going to go no weed too. And I was like, no weed? Fuck you. Like, I'm just doing this for Bert. Like, I don't want to stop smoking. But then Ari was making such a big deal out of it. I had to say, actually, dude, I'm not smoking pot either.
Sober October was born. For the past 4 years, every October, for 31 days straight, they decided to not drink alcohol and not smoke and use any drugs at all. And I decided to join them this year. But here's the thing. I decided to make it extra difficult for myself, because quitting drinking wasn't really much of a challenge for me, as we're in lockdown anyway, bars are closed, restaurants are closed, so skipping wine over dinner with my girlfriend or friends shouldn't be too much of a problem. And not lighting one up is also not a challenge for me, because I don't do it that frequently. So I wanted something extra, I wanted something really challenging. And that led me to coffee, or more specifically, caffeine. Because thinking about it, I realized that for the past 5-6 years, I drank at least 1 cup of coffee every single day for 5-6 years. At home, at work, at your friend's house, at your parents' house, when traveling, on a holiday, there's always coffee around. You always need some coffee in the morning. If you're a coffee drinker, you probably know what I'm talking about, which is pretty crazy. So I decided to quit coffee for a whole month, just to prove to myself that I don't need it. Not because it's not healthy for you. In fact, I've read multiple studies that prove that black coffee is actually really healthy for you and lowers all-cause mortality. But still, I wanted to challenge myself. No coffee, no decaf coffee, no tea with caffeine, no energy drinks for the whole month of October. Just water and tea without caffeine. Curious to see if I managed to quit coffee, alcohol, and drugs for the whole month of October? Here's how it went. I'm about to have my last coffee in the coming 30 days. 1 month without coffee. One more. So here's me on day 1, drinking my cup of tea instead of coffee. Oh, and I dropped the... God damn it. Yeah, it's not the same. So I'm drinking caffeine-free tea. I mean, it tastes pretty good, but it's not the same as my coffee. I haven't been to the toilet even yet. I always drink my coffee. As soon as I have my first coffee in the morning, I go to the toilet. Now, I don't feel anything. I'm gonna force it. But so far so good. No headaches, no nothing. Kind of missing it, but no real problems. Let's see how the rest of the month goes. All right. Not gonna lie, the headache is starting. At the end of the first day, I kind of feel a little bit of a headache. And that's it. Alright, so quick little update. It's almost 2 weeks now without coffee, without alcohol. It's day 12 actually. And I have to be honest, it's pretty easy. I'm about to hit the gym. Excited. I do have a lot of energy even though I didn't sleep that well. In the first couple of days, I got a slight headache. I think it's because of the caffeine withdrawal from the coffee. And I definitely had some brain fog and concentration issues. But after day 3, it got really easy. What is up, guys? Today is Monday the 19th of October, meaning I'm in day 19 of Sober October. No alcohol, no coffee, no smoking, no whatever. I'm completely sober for 19 days. And there's a couple of things I noticed. First of all, strangely enough, I noticed that coffee hasn't affected my sleep. And cutting out coffee especially hasn't affected my sleep, because I still have random nights where I can't really sleep. I wake up in the middle of the night, have to go take a piss, then can't fall back to sleep again. So I'm still randomly having bad nights of sleep, good nights of sleep, just the same as before I cut out coffee. So I don't think cutting out coffee had that much of an effect on my sleep quality. It's day 31. It's Halloween night, and it's been a long 31 days without alcohol, coffee, drugs, whatever. And I've been looking forward to opening, or actually drinking, Nika whiskey from the barrel. Cheers. Feels good to be back. So after 1 month of no alcohol, no weed, and no coffee, I can honestly say that it was way easier than expected. Apart from the first couple of days where I experienced some mild headache and some brain fog because of the caffeine withdrawal probably, it was way easier than expected. There were some interesting things I definitely experienced, like maybe a 5% overall more calm feeling, less anxious feeling throughout the day during the whole month. That's probably what I expected from quitting caffeine. But what I didn't expect was for my sleep to not improve one bit at all. I still had random sleepless nights where I couldn't sleep because of no obvious reason, and I expected quitting caffeine would help me improve my sleep quality, but it didn't. Looking at it subjectively, quitting coffee just had no effects on my sleep. Now, I don't know all the ins and outs about REM sleep and deep sleep. That might actually be something for next year, to experiment and track my sleep before Sober October and during Sober October. Furthermore, what I noticed in the first week after Sober October, when I drank coffee again, it gave me a bit of a restless, anxious feeling, like I was sensitive to caffeine again, which makes sense, but it's something I haven't felt in a long time. I have to say that the feeling subsided after about 1 week of drinking coffee again, and it wasn't that bad, but it was just a bit annoying. Overall, doing the Sober October thing just gave me a sense of accomplishment, and I proved to myself that I can perfectly survive a morning without a coffee and a dinner with friends without wine. You fly? So in conclusion, it was way easier than expected. It had no effect on my sleep and little effect on my anxiousness and calmness throughout the day. After the month, I could feel the effects of caffeine more clearly. Next year, I will 100% be doing this again. But this time, I will start tracking and measuring a lot of stuff before, during, and after Sober October. Make it a bit more of a scientific experiment. If you want to see that, subscribe to my channel because I will be making a lot more videos on personal development and my journey of escaping the 9-to-5. I hope you enjoyed the video and my little experiment. Maybe I inspired you to try Sober October next year again, or maybe even try dry January. Try dry January. Whoa. And before I end the video, a message for Joe Rogan. Joe, if you're watching this, next year for Sober October, I challenge you to quit drinking coffee. You up for it? What? So are you curious to see if I'm drugs and coffee, deep and deep sleep, and how caffeine impacted that for me personally, but I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.